But I mean, again, he doesn't know who Gabriel is, right? Because he didn't come from an Abrahamic faith. The people of Mecca were... But I mean, again, he doesn't know who Gabriel is, right? Because he didn't come from an Abrahamic faith. The people of Mecca were pagan.
Quran is mentioned, if this book was from other than God, we would have found in it many contradictions. If a book is without contradictions, that has no bearing on whether it comes from God or not. I've had phone books that are inerrant, but I certainly don't think God gave them.
That we believe without understanding.
The brother asked a very important question that most of the scholars say that listening to music, watching movies, and most of the television programs, they're haram. So how can we have fun? Let me tell you, brother, at the outset that having fun is permitted in Islam as long as the fun is halal fun.
That the standard narrative has holes.
The Prophet tells us because Satan or the devil sleeps over our nostrils. Those who oversleep and not pray Fajr on time, Satan urinates in their ears.
I really do think Jesus was crucified, and he really was dead. He thought that he was the son of God in the sense that he was specially chosen by God. I think Jesus really did think he was going to be the Messiah, the future king of Israel. I mean, that is after all why they crucified him.
Hello everyone, and peace of Christ all of you. Our Lord, the Messiah, is the living Lord. He is risen, He is alive. He is our living God, and they have nothing, nada. So today, as you see, our topic is live debate, the dead Allah versus the living Christ. These days, as every year, we celebrate the memorial or the memory of the crucifixion of the Messiah and his resurrection. And the Muslims, the Muhammadans, they are so desperate to prove to us that Jesus did not die. And the first question I ask myself anyway, I mean, what Muslims even have to do with Jesus? Islam is a false religion. Their God is the moon God. So why even Jesus is their interest? It sounds confusing. On one hand, the Muslims, they say that Moses was a Muslim. Abraham was a Muslim. Isa, Jesus, we don't know what Isa came from. He was a Muslim. But their God is not the same as the God of Abraham or Moses. So how that work? Islam as a satanic religion try always to hijack anything. If you remember, there's a video made by Zakir Naik. It's called The Concept of God in Islam and Hinduism. So when the Muslims speak to the Hindus, suddenly the God of the Hindus is the same as the God of the Muslims. They hijack anything. They will hijack any book. They will hijack any religion in order to dominate, to take over. But we know that Islam is so stupid, so silly, so confusing. And that's why we see Muslims argue with Muslims about what Islam is about. My Skype is open, and today will not be any different from every day. Muslims will call us, and they will fail. Prove me wrong. Feel free to call me, text me first, and I will take your call. As you see, our conversation is about the dead Allah and the living Messiah. Is Allah even alive? You see, I do not need to prove to the Muslims that Jesus is alive because it's what they believe. So we do not need to debate over it. I mean, as long as both of us agree that Christ is alive, then the dispute is about if their God even exists. Because in order to exist, you have to be living God. Is Allah is a God who exists and He is alive? If you are a Muhammadan, feel free. I will be happy to take your call. We start, first with verses we mentioned last time from the Bible. And those are verses the Muslims they mentioned to us. The Muslims, they try to refute Christianity. So they send you verses, and supposedly those verses will sponsor their belief. So they say to you, can you read for us the second Thessalonians, chapter 2, 11, 12? And it says there that for this cause God shall send them strong delusion. But as usual, the Muslims, as part of the hypocrisy of this cult, when they choose for you a verse, what is it important for us to know what cause? I mean, it says for this cause. How come what is important for the Muhammadan is what after, not before? Because in order to know what the cause, we need to see what the cause. We cannot jump over it. And then we need to find out what is the delusion we are talking about. You see, when somebody abandoned God and he decided to follow the devil, this is exactly what the Bible is speaking of. It is your choice. And because now you are not with God, with the true God, you are by your own. And that will make you under the control of the devil. So when Muhammad and he decide to refuse to believe in the Messiah, this is why we need to go on a few verses before to understand what we are talking about. The Muslims, they don't want you to read what is before. This is talking about the wicked, the filthy, the child molesters, the thieves, the criminals, the rapists, the one who they do deceiving and they do unrighteous work. Those who don't receive not the love of the truth. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion. So already they are in hell, literally. So what it says here, that God, because they are evil, He will not make them succeed. That is the delusion. The delusion is you think that you are, with your evil, is going to be succeed against God. As an example, when Muhammad he come and he says, I'm a prophet. We agree, most of us, maybe some of you don't, maybe the Muslim for sure don't, that Muhammad is a satanic creature. A satanic creature is not necessarily a human, according to Islam. It can be a genie. Genie is Satan himself is a genie. Even Muslims believe that lizard is a satanic creature. Mice, satanic creature. I mean, they have their own. Black dog is a satanic creature. Actually, black dog is a Satan himself. So Islam is a mix. They use the word Satan, but if you go in details, you will find that Satan is a good guy in Islam, and the bad one is Allah. If you go in the Quran, you will find the following verses. Chapter 7, verse number 16. You see that when we as Christians read the Quran, maybe the majority of us know nothing about Arabic and we don't speak a single Arabic word. So Shaitan, he said, and this is the Muslim translation, because you have sent me astray. The translation is absolutely false, but I will go with this one now, just to show you, even when they try to duct tape their stupid cult, it's funny and it's stupid. Why Shaitan is Shaitan? Because Allah is more Shaitan than Shaitan. Allah was so powerful in his deception to the point he deceived even Satan. And he made him Satan. Satan is just a victim of Allah. The verse in front of you. Now, if we go into Arabic, the Arabic, here it says, أغويتني. أغويتني. Just to show you how they lie. The same word exists in the Quran in different places. As an example, the Quran says that my servant, Allah said supposedly, my servant, you have no authority except al-ghawin. This is the same word, but this is a plural name, like, many, Al-Waydani is about an action you do to one person, me, myself, when you say to me, and al-ghawin is somebody, simply, a group of people who they are labeled with this al-ghawin. So what al-ghawin mean? Any Muslim can call us and tell us what exactly the Quran is speaking about. Who are they? Al-ghawin. What is God is talking about? Any Muslim? Before I put the verses on the screen, I'm trying to see if there is any Muslim who get excited and he have an answer. Any Muhammadan? I find it very funny that the Muslims didn't know what we are talking about. Sometimes I feel like when I speak to Muslims, they call us and they quote for us verses from the Bible and suddenly they become scholars in the Bible and they do not even know one verse in the Quran. Always the Muslims, they have no idea, or they play dumb, by the way. Sometimes they knew. They knew. But the game is to say, I don't know, so you can get away from whatever accusation will come or whatever question is going to be next. If we go to the verse, as long as there's no Muhammadan here, he has the courage or knowledge to dare to text me in Skype until now, let us show the verse in the screen. As usual, the Quran repeats itself. It's a funny, stupid book, the same exact words, not like, just repeat the meaning. It's repeat exactly the same word. So in the Quran, it says in chapter 15, verse number 42, and by the way, the Muslims, when they made chapters, they were trying to copy the Bible. Those are Arab. They do not know how to make chapters. They don't even know the books. The first time they learned about books, it was from the Christians, and specifically from the Aramaic. Now I know that some Muslims will say to you, we have philosophers, we have Al-Far, and they will start, but even that, this is not from the Arab, either from the Aramaic or from the Persian. Arab have no books. Even the Muslim himself, they say to you that Muhammad himself was illiterate. This is telling you what kind of community we are talking about if their leader himself is illiterate. And you have no authority, supposedly Allah is talking, over my servants, except the translation here says, the erring one. Is that a true translation? Absolutely false. Never, never, ever accept Islamic translation. They lie, they fabricate, and they don't say the truth. We change the translator, and we will find that there's a huge difference. We did not change the Quran. We just chose a different translator, and look what happened. Al-Ghawin, the word we were talking about, is mentioned in the other verse. It translates as the following: Mushrikeen, which means those who associate with God, those who go astray, the criminals, the polytheists, the evildoers, etc. So use your imagination. Okay, here we need to stop. As long as the word Ghawin mean all of those, we go back to the previous verse where Allah, He made Shaitan one of the Ghawin. Look what happened. Here it says, قَالَ فَبِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي. He said, because you became me, you made me a Ghawi. So now the word astray will take it off, and we will replace it with the other verse because it's the same word meaning. So what will come? Because you made me mushrik, to go astray. You made me criminal. You made me polytheist. You made me evildoer. Who is the one who made me? Quran says, Allah. Any Muslim have a comment? So if Allah is alive, He is going to be the same person as the devil. Do you really Muslim believe that Satan is a victim of Allah? Because that's what the verse is saying. Satan is a victim of Allah. Allah, He made him evildoer. Allah deceived him. Allah made him a criminal, whatever description you see there. It's not Satan who chose that. And here we ask ourselves how big the problem in this religion is. If Satan himself and the Muslims claim that they are fighting Satan, if Satan himself was the victim of Allah, so you are the victim of who, Muslims? Are you the victim of Satan or you are the victim of Allah? Any Muhammadan? Any Muslim? You will notice how quiet they are and how, delusional they are about they have a God. But if your God is God, is He a good God or a bad God? If He is a bad God, then your God is Satan. If your God is good God, then He is the enemy of Satan. But as you see, Satan, he is a believer, actually, and he himself, he is complaining to Allah and saying to him, well, it's your fault. You made me. You did that to me. So what is my problem? Any Muhammadan? Very quiet religion. When you have knowledge, very loud when nobody around you. Any Muhammadan? And the Quran, as usual, as long as it is a book of contradiction, there's a verse in the Quran says that the problem between Allah and Satan, that Satan, he refused to bow down to Adam. And here you ask yourself a very simple question. How big the mouth of the Muhammadan when they say, in Islam, our God, he ordered us only to bow down to him? When in fact, Islam is the first pagan cult who start worshipping someone he is not divine, because bowing down to somebody is an act of worship. Now I know some people will say you bow down to a king. Well, this is God, my friend. This is religion here. We're not talking about kings. And we are talking about God ordering his angels to bow down to a human. So what Satan he did, or Iblis, and here you ask yourself, where Muhammad got the word Iblis from? You see the names which Muhammad uses exposing him. May I answer your question? Okay. Let me see. Hello? Hello? Are you there? We don't hear anything.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
All right, I hear you. Go ahead. No problem. What do you want to say? Okay, go ahead.
Well, Mr. Sanchimon, I don't want. There's nothing for me to say. I mean, it's probably everything that's already been spread out. So, while we're giving lectures in Islam and the translation that you're providing, you asked for a Muslim to help you with the translation. Could you lay out your question one more time for me?
Well, in the Quran, let us go back to the verses. I don't know if you're watching. In chapter 7, verse number 16.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak Arabic, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Well, I'm not an Arab like you, but
no problem.
I can help.
As long as you speak Arabic, that does the job. قال فبما أغويتني.
Sorry, sir. You were just taking one word. Can you give me the verse?
I'll give you the whole chapter, chapter 7, verse number 16.
Chapter 7, verse number 16.
Yeah.
Hold. Let me open chapter 7, 16. In Surah Al-A'raf. And 16. ثم لا يأتيهم من بين أيديهم ومن خلفهم when
verse number 16.
So وقال فيما أغويتني. Okay. فبما أغويتني, yes.
Okay.
Because you have me in error, I will surely sit and wait for them. That means the mankind. On your straight path. That is the translation.
Well, that is a translation, but is that correct translation?
What do you mean by translation? If you want
I thought you called me because you can help with the translation, but you are just reading some of the translation. So is that a correct translation?
If you want the correct translations, you should not be picking up the one verse out of the complete topic.
Okay, you can pick up 1,000 verses. Just give me the meaning of this word.
So, for example, to know the word, I mean, you need to know the entire context. For example, this topic starts from verse 10 until verse 18. So, you should come. Actually, it's very easy to describe it. I don't know why.
As long as it's very easy, I'm waiting. I mean, it's very easy. You just said so.
No, yeah, I did say easy, but did you? The question that you're asking is like very specific. Like you just need the word of one thing.
Okay, well, you know what it says here, that Shaitan, he is saying to Allah, because you did to me, so what he did to him, tell us what does that mean? What Allah did to Shaitan?
Yeah, your question is a trap.
My friend, all my questions are trapped because Islam is a trap, obviously, and you're scared to answer, obviously. Otherwise, the word is simple. I'm not asking you to make chemical laboratory experiment. It's just a word in front of you, and you claim you speak Arabic, and you are a Muslim, and you call me to help me do that, and now you're complaining my question is a trap. So you feel that there's something wrong in the verse, don't you?
No, well, there's something wrong with you, sir. I mean, for example, you are.
So my friend, let us say there's something wrong with me. What's wrong with you to the point you cannot even explain your Quran?
I can explain it, but
go
not
ahead.
in your turn.
Why you keep complaining? I did not ask you for any term. I did not say how you do it, when you do it. I said, what does this mean? Allah, the Shaitan talking to Allah, saying to him, Bima awaytani. Okay, what does that mean? Go ahead.
Yet again, you're just still holding to the one word. Bima awaytani.
My friend, we want to know what that word means because it's what he did to him. So what awaytani means so we can understand what Allah did to Satan. What's the problem? How you, when I explain that to your son, let us say your son is sitting next to you and he says that, okay, what Shaitan, what happened to him? Why he's saying that awaytani? What Allah did to Shaitan? Explain to him what you said to your son.
ولقد خلقناكم ثم صورناكم ثم قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس لم يكن من الساجدين.
What does this have to do with my question?
That is the start point. That's how I'm going to start.
Okay, no problem. So we go to the other verse, and then people will laugh because what you read from me, what did you read from me? That Allah he ordered Shaitan, Allah he ordered all the angels to bow down to Shaitan, to Adam, and the only one who refused is Satan, correct?
The only one who refused was the Satan, yes.
Okay, but did Allah order the Satan to bow down anyway?
He ordered his entire creation to bow down.
Well, where it says that, read with me. It says, and behold, we say to the angels. Are you Muslims adding things to the Quran which is not there?
Sir, the translation starts like
we have Muslims who speak Arabic, so there is nowhere it says he ordered the entire creation. Are you Muslims adding the word entire creation? It says here, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى. So, and this is your Muslim translation. And behold, we said to the angels, bow down. Allah, he said to who? To the angels. Where all the creation? Where do you get this from?
You are literally speaking in Arabic right now, and you know what is the truth and what is the wrong, but yet still, your agenda is very clear already.
My friend, my agenda is very clear that Muslims cannot answer a simple question. You are going around in a circle for the last 15 minutes for a very simple question because Allah is dead. So I'm asking you, Allah, he ordered the angels to bow down. Satan in Islam is not an angel. So why Allah is upset from Satan? Because he did not bow down. But Allah, he did not order Satan to bow down. He ordered the angels. See, in Christianity, Satan was an angel. In Islam, no, he was a jinn, correct?
Wow. Okay. Now, thank you for bringing that. Thank you for bringing that up, sir. That just explains everything.
Exactly.
Thank you for
that explains that Muslims are a bunch of fool. They are following a fool, and they have no answer for the first Quran. Otherwise, you will be all over me right now. Explain the Quran, and you get me busted. Go ahead, get me busted. Allah, he ordered the angels to bow down to Adam. Why he's upset from Satan? I say all cats say meow. Why I get upset from the dog? I just ordered the cats.
When you say busted, may I also try to bust you, or am I not allowed?
That's what I'm asking you for. Get me busted. I did not say I busted you. No, my friend, you are a Muslim. Bust everybody. I'm saying I want you now to get me busted. It's very easy. So Allah, he ordered the angels to bow down to Adam. Why he's upset from Satan? If Satan is from different kind, he's not an angel.
Sure. Stop repeating yourself like Allah's like.
I'm not repeating myself because here we go. I'm repeating so you don't answer.
I mean, exactly. You're an Arab, so you'd have to do.
My friend, you are smart. Not all Arab people are smart like your prophet. Maybe I'm not smart like your prophet. Explain to me. Help me. I'm here to ask you. Please, can you help me? Okay. So Allah, you see, this is why I need to repeat the question 1,000 times for a Muslim because you have void. Are you searching Google to find an answer?
No, why
Okay,
not?
give me the answer. Allah, you are the one who mentioned this verse, by the way, not me. Allah, he ordered the angels. Allah, he ordered the angels to go down to Adam. But why is upset from Satan if Satan is not an angel? Go ahead.
I've given you the answer, but you ignored it. So
No, I'm just showing you. Okay, go ahead. Repeat. Maybe I'm slow. Go ahead.
what did I say? I said you're just reading one verse.
My friend,
And
you are the one who
one
quoted this verse, supposedly to answer the previous verse, right? So now you quote the other verse, you quote this verse, in order to refute the other verse. And now we go to this verse, which you are the one who quoted, and now you are saying to me you need to read the other verse in order to explain this verse. How are we going to play this game forever? So now I'm asking you, you are the one who pulled the leg of Allah. By the way, Allah have a leg, as you know. And behold, we said to the angels, go down to Adam. Why Allah upset from Satan if he is not an angel? He ordered the angels only. So what Satan, he did nothing wrong.
What made you to come to this state of mind? What made you to come to this state of mind?
I drank some camel urine and I felt so smart because your prophet advised me. He said camel urine is the best, forget about the rest.
Okay, okay. For example, you're a very known person and also a teacher in Christian. I mean, you did preach. I mean, we saw the video.
My friend, what does this have to do? Let us say I am nobody. You know, you met somebody in the street and somebody asked you as a Muslim, okay, my friend, I am a person who learned about Islam. And this was in the Quran. You are the one who mentioned this verse. Allah, he ordered the angels to go down to Adam. He got upset from Satan for what? Satan is not an angel. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I answered you and you ignored it.
What is the answer?
So,
looking for the answer, my friend. Anyone heard the answer? He answered me. Please, my friend, repeat the answer. I never heard anything. You just said to me, we need to look for the whole thing. Look as much you want. Give me the answer.
Others get the answer. So, like I said, you need to read the entire topic.
Go ahead, read my friend. Go ahead, read as much as you want. I'm here with you. We will stay until tomorrow. You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy, and I enjoy your company. Okay, so you have time. Tell me, read anything you want. Quote anything you want. Open any page you want, but give me the answer. Allah, he ordered the angels to go down to Adam. Satan is not an angel. Why Allah get upset from Satan?
The Encyclopedia of Assyria. That's what they called you, right?
My friend,
and
this guy is going to read about me now. I suddenly became a prophet. People that read about the wish, my friend. What does this have to do with me? You know, my friend. Okay, the Christian Prince is very well known. Christian Prince, he wrote about him in Encyclopedia, whatever it is. And what does this have to do with the topic?
The other Christians already told their actual agenda.
My friend, okay, other Christian, they say my agenda, I have a good agenda. You don't like my agenda, get something better. So other Christian, they told my agenda. No problem. Those are no Christian. Because a Christian, he don't speak in the type of a Christian.
Well, you stay being condemned to hell.
So are you going to answer or you have no answer?
You have answered it 3 times by now.
Well, you just told me you need to read the quote more. Quote more. I'm waiting.
Wow. I mean, why are you ignoring me? Like, you're just ignoring. You just want to hear what you want to hear.
You're playing victim now. I'm waiting for you to give me the answer. You keep saying to me I answered you, but everybody is looking. Where's the answer? Let me repeat the question for the 50th time, maybe. Allah, he ordered the angels to bow down to Adam. Adam is not, Satan is not an angel. Allah got upset from Satan for not bowing down to Adam. Allah did not order Satan to bow down. How would that work? Go ahead.
Okay. Once again, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. ولقد خلقناكم ثم صورناكم ثم قلنا إلى الملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس لم يكن من الساجدين. The translation. And we have certainly created you, O mankind, and given you human form. Then we say to the angels, to bow to Adam. What's it called? Prostrate to Adam. If I'm pronouncing that word correctly. So they prostrated except Iblis. He was not of those who may bow down. And then Allah says, قال ما منعك إلا أن لا تسجد إذا أمركم قال إني خير منه خلقني من نار وخلقه من طين. Allah said, what prevented you from bowing down when I commanded you? And Satan said, and Satan's response was, I am better than him. You created me from fire and created him from clay. Well, just continue. If you want me to explain it more, let me just copy the entire verse and share it with you on the Skype. You read it. Like I said, I am dyslexic.
Okay, so where's the answer now? So where's the answer?
Here, I'll share it to you directly, the translation and the meaning one by one.
Okay, so I'm waiting for the answer.
Hold on, let me just message it to
I'm
you.
being so quiet listening to you, so you don't say I'm disturbing you or stopping you.
Well,
So, until now, I did not see the answer.
Disturbance, sir.
What is the answer?
Anything I say, it will be directly aimed to me, that is for sure. You can explain your agenda.
So what is the answer?
Hold on, I will get you the entire subject right now. The entire subject, and from that, you take what you want to understand, because this way is better for you.
And what is the answer?
I'm just sending it to you right now.
No, I want you to say the answer. Don't send me. I don't talk in links. I don't talk in pictures. I don't do this. Read from you. My friend, you have a mouth, right? And we are doing a voice conversation. So read from what it says there. No problem. Go ahead.
So me being dyslexic you right now, right?
Huh?
Me being dyslexic is bothering you, or is it just one of the things that you try? Me being dyslexic is bothering you.
You bothering me?
No, my dyslexia is bothering you.
Dyslexia? What does that mean? Dyslexia? What does that mean? I don't speak English. Sorry. What does that mean?
Ask your vipers.
What?
Ask your vipers.
What vipers?
Your venom that you spread out to.
Oh, okay. Okay. So are you affected by the venom I spread to you?
I'm not affected. I just know.
Are you saying you don't die by venom? Isn't your prophet died by Walmart venom? Cheap Walmart venom for $5?
And here you go, once again.
What? You're the one who mentioned venom. I mean, you mentioned something and then you want to run away from it. Here we go. We have Jesus as the living God. You see the title, the living God, Jesus. And we have the dead Allah, the dead Muhammad. Allah, we killed Muhammad. A Jewish woman, she killed him. She's my cousin. She killed him by $2. You know, I told her don't buy the $2 one. Buy 50 cents. She went to Home Depot. I told her Walmart is cheaper. But anyway, she got $2 poison. She waited for a rat. She waited for Muhammad. Muhammad ate it. He died. So you want to change the topic for venom? We can talk about venom. What kind of a prophet is God could not save him from the venom? But Allah, he supposedly, you Muslim claim that he saved Jesus. Why Allah he saved Jesus? But you are the one who mentioned the venom. We're talking about shaitan bowing down. Suddenly you start talking about venom. What's wrong with you? You go around and you mention things which have nothing to do with the topic.
Oh, well, I'm just telling everyone for what's your actual agenda.
Okay, my actual agenda. Okay, this is my agenda. Do you like it or not? Okay. My actual agenda to laugh at Muhammad and Allah. Can you stop me? Can you refute me? Go ahead. I mean, your agenda to make me believe in Allah. I understand. Your agenda is to make fun of the Bible. Okay, no problem. So what's the problem now? You want to play drama now? Thank God, like you're not a female. You're married to me. Otherwise, I would jump from the 6th floor. My friend, listen to me. You want to change the topic? Talk about venom? Here we go. Your prophet died by poison, and he promised that if he's lying about the Quran, Allah will cut his artery. And the hadith says that his artery is being cut off. So this is the proof that Muhammad is a fraud. You want to go back to the previous question? Let's go back. No problem. Allah, he ordered the angels to bow down to Adam. Satan is not an angel. So how in the world does God get upset from Satan, who is not an angel, when he ordered only angels? Go ahead.
Are you scared?
I'm very scared. This is the point, especially when I went to the top of the mountain to throw myself. Did you know what happened to me?
Because right now I already sent you
my friend,
the entire.
do you know what happened to me when I went to the top of the mountain to kill myself? I was terrified. But thank Allah, Jibreel, he appeared suddenly, and he hold me from my cell phone, because my cell phone is good. And he said to me, Christian Prince, why, Habibi, you want to kill yourself? Why? For sure you are a prophet. Have you ever heard of a prophet of God? You want to kill himself. Is that what you're going to do yourself now that debating me? So you keep saying to me, I will send you links. Why you don't answer me? Give me the answer. I don't talk in links. I told you. I won't answer. Give me the answer.
How come you think it's a debate when it's actually played by your own terms?
My
Anyway,
friend, all I'm asking you for is just give me the answer. You are the one who called me and said, I heard you saying you need a Muslim to help you to answer, to translate. I said, wonderful. All right, here we go. The mic is yours. And I was so quiet to say to you, and then you did not give me anything. So what do you want to do now?
and now I want you to read all the messages that I sent you on Skype.
I don't read messages. I want you to read them for me. You read them.
Sir, how many times do I have to explain what my dyslexia?
My friend, I'm waiting. People, okay, I can see that. I can see the message, but we have 1,000 people listening. Tell them what you're saying. They want to hear your voice, my friend. Come on. So Allah, he ordered the angels to bow down to Adam. First of all, why he ordered them? Secondly, why he upset from Shaitan for refusing to bow down? If Shaitan is not one of the angels, he did not order him. Go ahead.
You're repeating the thing again.
I have to repeat it.
Why are you doing
because Muslims are very slow. You prove it. Muslims are very slow. I have to repeat the question 1,000 times, and still we are waiting for you. And you complain. By the way, you complain. The funny is, it is you who called me. It is you who want me to talk to you. It is you who volunteered to answer me. And now you are complaining about what? I don't know.
Wow. Am I allowed to speak actually?
Okay, I'm not going to talk for the coming 5 minutes. Do you promise me to answer the question? Okay, let's repeat again for the last time. Allah, he ordered the angels to bow down to Adam. Shaitan is not one of the angels. Why Allah get upset from Shaitan when he is not an angel, which he ordered them only to bow down? The mic is yours. Here we go. I'm going to mute my microphone. Listen.
I'm going to ask you to read what I just sent you on the Skype message.
I cannot read. I made it like your prophet. You read it for us. Go ahead.
So, and yet you are ignoring it.
My friend, I'm ignoring it. It's you ignoring it. Read it to us. I want people to hear you.
I want people to hear you. When I said I'm dyslexic, what does that mean to you?
I don't know. That's mean you are over delivering. I'm not sure what does that mean. My friend, give me the answer. We are talking, people listening, people are waiting, and you are smart. And obviously, I'm not smart like you. But thanks to Allah, I'm not smart. Because if I'm smart, I will become a Muslim, and then I'm going to drink urine, and then I will believe that there's a God who will make my penis in this. And the woman, she's waiting for me. Her boobs are so big. Thank God, I'm not a Muslim, and I'm not smart like you. See, this is the result of the conversation. So we go back to zero. Allah, he ordered the angels to bow down to Adam. Shaitan is not an angel. So what do we do now?
Why? I just want to know what made you. I mean, what made you to come to this hatred, to show this hatred? I mean,
chapter 5, verse 14, the Quran says that Allah spread hatred and enmity between the Christians. So if you complain about hatred, you're against Allah. Are you against Allah now? Are you against Allah?
And you start with just
are you against Allah? Shame on you. What kind of a Muslim you are? You are putting Allah down. You know, you remind me of this guy Karadov. You know, he joined Putin to fight his own foe. Listen. So did Allah in the Quran, chapter 5, verse number 14, did Allah says, I will spread hatred and enmity between the Christians. And then you call me and you said to me, I want to know why you have hatred. So who is the donkey here? It's you or Allah? What's wrong with Muslims? Okay, so read the verse for me. Is it Allah? Is it true? Here we are trying to prove to people now that Shaitan and Allah is one, and you just lead us to that conversation. Thank you very much. So the verse in front of us proves that Allah is Satan. You are accusing me of hatred, which we already agree that hatred is bad. Do you agree? Okay, let me ask you: is hatred from Shaitan or from God?
All the hates that you're just describing and giving and teaching to the other Christians in the comment section, it's just like you're just saying that Christianity actually tells you and recommends you to hate those.
You have to prove it. Jesus he says, love your enemy, bless them, those who curse you. So this is a lie. Secondly, we are talking about the Quran. It is your book. It's the verse in front of you, and now you go blind because you're drinking camel urine because you're Ramadan. You know. So maybe Allah bless your stomach by the way, the camel urine. So chapter 5, verse 14, it fit perfectly with the camel urine because simply you need to swallow it hard. It is so big. It's so delicious. Look at this. We have a God. He decided to spread hatred between the Christians. So when you Muslims complain about hatred, are you being hypocrite or hypocrite?
Now I'm a hypocrite as well.
Well, then hypocrite for me. You are the one who complained about hatred. Why Allah want to spread hatred between us? If Allah is a good person, is Allah a good person or is a bad person? Well, obviously he's a bad person because you are the one who's saying the one who spread hatred is a bad person. So now you call me and you prove to me that Allah is a bad person. Thank you very much. You know what? You want today. Listen, because of Ramadan, you want 2 liters of camel urine and they are fresh, but you have to come to my backyard. I have a camel.
Almost 1,000 years ago, and you're bringing those stories up.
But and you just saying 1,000 years ago, it is you Muslim who bring those stories up. Don't you read the Quran every day?
Oh, such a teachings like the teachings of you as a what was it, the Trinity, and you want that to be in the part of a Bible which is never mentioned in the Bible. And people already, I mean, exposed.
But this has to do. Okay, my friend, you are jumping like a monkey in the zoo, but there's no zoo. Okay, simply you come to talk about the topic. Now you suddenly want to jump to talk about Trinity. We can change. You want to go about Trinity? Just promise me you want to change your topic. What topic you want? Trinity? You want this? Hatred? You want Shaitan? Is deceived by Allah? Which one you want?
Those who are hearing you, right? Yeah. So we just whatever comes. Like before, I already answered. You don't want to read it. That is ignorant.
Not answer. You're telling me you send me pictures. I'm not interested in your pictures, my friend. I want you to give me the answer. People want to hear you. We have more than 1,000 people waiting for the smart to answer. My friend, give us the answer. So Allah, he ordered the angels to bow down to Adam, and then he got upset. He got upset from Shaitan. But Shaitan is not an angel. So how stupid is that? Imagine I say all cats say meow except the dog. He said ow, but the dog is a dog. He don't say meow. So how come Allah he ordered the dogs to bow down, and then he's upset from the cats?
And your own belief, and you're taking a lot of people with you with it. You already took down a lot of Muslims from their beliefs, even though
first of all, it's not a lot. First of all, this is a lie. It's not a lot. It's maybe a couple of 100,000. So you are lying. Secondly, what?
Wow.
It's not a lot. You know, it's not a lot. It's still there's a lot. I mean, it's still more, way more. Still there. Come on. The warehouse is full. My friend. We took them from the belief and we made them what? We showed them the truth, and the truth will set them free. And they accepted Jesus. So you're complaining that a lot of Muslims left Islam because of showing the truth. But look what will happen now. How many people they will watch this video and they will see that a sheikh like you are a big sheikh. I mean, look at your beard is so long. So you have a long beard, maybe to what I don't know. This look like 2 meters. My friend, how come a sheikh like you who speak Arabic you cannot answer a simple question? Allah, he ordered the angels. Yet he is upset from Shaitan. Why?
Separating the angels, like the angel that is in the Quran, that is Gabriel, is not the same angel that is in the Quran, and it's an imposter. And the Allah is not the same Allah. Which, oh wow.
Yeah, Allah is not the same Allah. I can show you. Okay, open your topic. Allah is not the same Allah. Let me show you that. When Allah said in the Quran that Allah, may Allah forgive your sin. Allah was speaking a different Allah. So if Allah is the same Allah, Allah will not say, may Allah forgive your sin. And we have to agree on that, right? So if I am the only Allah, there's no way I would say, may Allah forgive your sin. So obviously, Muslims, you have many Allah. You have Allah before tax, Allah after tax, Allah of Joe Biden, Allah of Monica Lewinsky, Allah of Obama, Allah of Mickey Mouse. So here, listen with me. Allah, may Allah forgive thee. Allah speaking to whom? To other Allah. If Allah speaking to himself, that means he have a mental issue, standing in front of the mirror, asking himself, listen carefully, my friend, may Allah forgive thee. Okay, who's talking Allah? Talking to who? Allah. How many Allah you have?
Other things. That is just your tactic is is very demonic. Miraculous.
Miraculously, yeah. I just, how it's demonic? Did I promise people like in this screen is like your prophet? I mean, how come you notice? You notice that I am demonic, my teaching, but you did not notice that the prophet who promised you in this screen is obviously satanic. What kind of a promise he made?
And you got that from Hadith, right?
So what? Okay, what about the Quran saying Allah will give us women the big boobs?
Wow, okay, that is an amazing translation you got there.
Well, you give me a translation. Here we go. You
Yes, but no,
you translate. No, you translate. You know what? Whatever you say, I will accept. Go ahead. You know, you know best. Allah and Muhammad, and you know best now. We are your name to the list. So, in chapter 78, verse number 33, it says, Allah will give them falafel, buttocks, women equal age. What does that mean? Right.
The complete summary of whatever you say.
My friend,
You just
what
focus.
you say you claim that the Quran doesn't say so. So give me the translation for chapter 78, verse number 33. It says here, Allah will give us falafel, buttocks, women in equal age. What does that mean? What falafel, buttocks mean? And
All these,
what is that?
and people who think that killing is by the name of Jesus or by the name of Allah is okay. And that
You
comes
are
from
talking about
teaching.
boobs and nipples, and you are talking about killing. Are you telling me you are a victim of one of somebody when nipples? Like someone when she hit you with her breast and you died? What can it have to do with the topic now? You are the one who opened this. So when we hear it said, I have a verse in front of me, and you said you speak Arabic, and you are a sheikh, alhamdulillah, mashallah, alhamdulillah. Chapter 78, verse number 33. It says, Allah will give us falafel, follow, botos, us, women. You know, my English is very funny, you know. So anyway, so what does that mean?
Well,
You keep saying wow. I mean, you know what? You believe it or not? You believe it or not? We are reading the Quran from the website. It's called Wow Quran Wow. Look. It says here, Wow Quran, Wow Quran. And you keep saying to me, wow, exactly. They are big books, man. So what kind of God? Who is Satan then? You said to me, the demonic teaching. What kind of God? He promised me. He doesn't even promise the word women. He says boobs. Where's the word women? You speak Arabic. Listen, can you show me the word women in the verse? There's no women. It says boobs.
and the time that I have is lacking because I work.
You are what?
And that give me a lot of time.
What?
I work. You can, yeah, just like you told me, like yesterday when you close and when you hang up the phone twice on me.
I hang up on you for what reason? Remind me.
Wow. Okay, now I have to remind you as well.
Yeah, I don't remember. You're so small. I don't remember small things. Remind me.
Yes.
Why hang up on you? Why hang up on you? Because obviously you answer nothing. You do the same as today. You go in a circle. You keep your job like a monkey. You know how you claim to be ashamed. You're just a kid. Come on, listen. How old are you? How old are you? Be honest with me. I mean, come on. There's nobody more. But be honest.
I wish anyone that is actually trying a question should come ask these questions from a source that is actually.
Okay, you're the one who said to me, let me call you and so can I answer you. So now you're asking us not to ask you.
Are you listening to
Is it you who texts me saying let me answer you?
My answers is just like.
What is the answer?
talking
No, you answer nothing.
to a stone. Like
What
it
is
just
stone?
reflects back.
What is stone?
Like me talking to a stone or a wall. It's
Okay,
just a reflection.
okay, let's go with this. Is talking to a stone? Is it talking to a stone? Is a sign of stupidity and madness? Did your prophet speak to stones? Did your prophet speak to stones? You said to me, how much of my time speaking to a stone? This is what you just said. So what kind of a prophet? He walked in the street. He said, "Assalamu alaikum" to stones, and he claimed that the stones answer back and say, "Wa alaikum assalam, messenger of Allah."
A logical person would actually Google it. Like why the stone in the prophet? Literally Googling it, you'll get the answer.
Okay, why the stone and the prophet they are talking? What is the purpose? What happened? Muhammad is walking down the street, la 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 la, and then the stone says, "Assalamu alaikum, messenger of Allah." Well, do you Muslims believe these stones are believers in Allah and they are Muslims?
What is it? Where is it? The one, the verse that I just wanted to read again.
Do you Muslims? You change the topic. You know, you keep changing the topic. Do you Muslims believe that stones are Muslims? They believe in Allah. And they shahada.
That's from your book.
So are you going to
By
answer?
that presents heaven and earth are being reserved for fire. For the destruction
Okay,
of godly men.
okay. So now,
Where is it? The other one.
okay. So I'm asking you now. So when you said to me, you're speaking to me as if you're speaking to a stone, and you say that the prophet he speaks to stones. Yes, you agree. Why your prophet is speaking to stones, and how the stone saying shahada and became she's a Muslim?
But each man must be careful how to.
Okay, just go. Next time, let's that call me. What kind of people do? And then he said to me, you hang up on me. Now you will go and say, secret prince, you hang up on me. I'm talking to myself.
Emotional damage.